We have the Supreme Court has nullified the judgments of the Court of Appeal and Federal High Court, which sacked Senator Samuel Anyanwu as National Secretary of the People's Democratic Party (PDP). ATN gathered that a five-member panel of the Apex Court on Friday held that the issue of who is the National Secretary of the PDP borders on the internal affairs of a political party, which is not justifiable. Which is not justiciable, beg your pardon. Justice Jamilu Tukur, who delivered the lead judgment of the Supreme Court, consequently struck out the judgment of the trial court, delivered in October last year, and also set aside the majority judgment of the Court of Appeal, which heard in December affirmed the sack of Anyanwu as PDP's National Secretary. Justice Tukur subsequently affirmed the minority judgment of the Appellate Court, delivered by Justice Ekanem, which had nullified the judgment of the trial court on account of lack of jurisdiction. Or besides, the Apex Court held that the plaintiff, Aniagu Emmanuel, who initiated the suit at the trial court, lacked the necessary legal backing to do so, since he did not show how he was affected by who is the National Secretary of the PDP. What's your reaction to Comrade Ibim? What's your reaction to the declaration made by the Supreme Court as regards to Anyanwu being the authentic National Secretary?
Well, as we all know, the Supreme Court is the apex court of our country, Nigeria. And when it gives a ruling, it's binding on all and sundry, as it were. There have been suits, there have been presentations from both councils, as it were. Facts have been given before the ruling was made. Now, if parties are contesting that ruling, there are also mechanisms to make their own petitions and submissions to the NUJ, where they can review such judgments.
What mechanism can you think of? Are there mechanisms you can rightly think of that they can employ?
Well, for now, nobody has come out to say the ruling was unfair, was biased, whatsoever. So it is, everybody will have to wait if that submission comes up. Otherwise, the ruling of the apex court is binding on all and sundry. So nobody can go and contest what the Supreme Court has passed as their judgment. So if the Supreme Court in our magnanimity have gone through the cases from the facts presented by both councils and has resolved to say Anyanwu is the authentic National Secretary of the party, then it should be binding on all and sundry.
Okay, do you also think that this is going to cool down the rifts we have in the party right now?
For me, once judgment is given by the apex court, you must obey. Just as in the case of Rivers State, where the Supreme Court have given that judgment, and the governor also obliged to that judgment. So that is the scenario we are faced with. So whether or not it will end it, yes, of course, because you cannot go and contest the judgment of the Supreme Court, which is the apex court of the land. So once the Supreme Court gives her judgment, everybody must abide to it. And that is simple and it's a fact.
All right.